welcome to our daily news program coming to you from Canal Algérie. To the headlines. Supplying markets with staples during Ramadan, the progress of water desalination projects and the status of the nationals abroad at the top of the Council of Ministers meeting chaired by the President of the Republic. The Algerian community abroad hailed the decisions meant to halve the air and maritime transport fees during the blessed month of Ramadan. Neighborhood markets are being put in place in several provinces to maintain prices and fight speculation during the month of Ramadan. And the French pension law is adopted, yet the opposition MPs vow to continue fighting against this controversial new law. And the Moroccan universities are subject to blatant violations by the Makhzen despite the tidal wave of demonstrations across the country. Good evening and welcome back. First in our news, the President of the Republic chaired a meeting of the Council of Ministers topped by supplying markets during the blessed month of Ramadan, the progress of desalination projects, in addition to important measures in favor of our nationals settled abroad. The gist of the meeting with Melissa Kubash.
The President started the meeting by congratulating the new members of the government, wishing them success, while calling them to live up to the citizens' aspirations. He then gave a series of orientations, guidelines and advice related to the government's performance. The President instructed the Prime Minister to reduce government meetings, except for necessities, direct all efforts to the field, since Algeria doesn't need to enact laws that might disturb citizens, but rather cancel some of them which are outdated, focusing on the implementation of programs and projects that interest millions of Algerians with a far-sighted vision in everything related to the well-being and comfort of citizens, as outlined in the presidential program elected by the people. The reinforcement of coordination between the Cabinet of the Presidency of the Republic and the Secretary General of the Government, so as to establish a close follow-up and strictly implement the Council of Ministers' decisions. The Minister of Interior was instructed, under the supervision of Prime Minister by the President, a schedule of field visits to be carried out by members of the government in different provinces, according to the priority, development and daily vital concerns of citizens. The President warned ministers against making unfounded promises to citizens within unreasonable deadlines and incomprehensible mechanisms. It is also forbidden to use stereotypical political phrases that glorify and sanctify personalities through any media, suggesting that every government activity is directed by the President of the Republic. He also required the strict respect of citizens in every actions, because it's the criteria to build a responsible and strong Algeria. Concerning digitization, transport and investment, the President instructed the government to accelerate the process of digitization as a basic work system in all sectors, including state property, taxes and budget, as well as the creation of a digital platform that provides data and indicators to make appropriate decisions in fighting bureaucracy. Facilitation and encouragement of investments, especially with a single window, reduced the prices of air and maritime transport fees by 50% for the benefit of our national community abroad during the month of Ramadan, to allow them to spend this blessed month with their families, given the economic difficulties in their countries of residence. Rebuilding the Algerian maritime transport fleet after it was targeted and exposed to conspiracy against the state, with a technical re-evaluation of ships for the current fleet, so as to work out a plan for its renewal and development, speed up the opening of airlines towards the capitals of African countries. As for supplying the market with consumer products during the month of Ramadan 2023, the President instructed the government to reinforce the control and organization, notably in large cities, in terms of supply to avoid any form of speculation, moving away from austerity and providing basic products to citizens while working gradually to direct direct towards a healthy consumption pattern. Finally, the President of the Republic instructed the enrichment of presentations related to the supply of drinking water and seawater desalination stations for the next Council of Ministers meeting to allow the new Minister of Irrigation to update the file and the data. It should be noted that the President of the Republic took a souvenir picture with the members of the government.
In a related topic, the Algerian nationals settled abroad hailed the decisions taken by the President of the Republic during the Council of Ministers, notably those related to the reduction of air and maritime transport fees during the blessed month of Ramadan. More details in this report by Ines Kilo.
After the decision of the President of the Republic to reduce air and maritime transport prices, exceptionally during Ramadan, by 50% for the Algerian community abroad to allow them spend this blessed month with their families. Our diaspora received this important decision with great joy and gratitude, thanking the President of the Republic for this lofty initiative.
Alhamdulillah, on se réjouit de cette très bonne nouvelle. Aujourd'hui, au Conseil des ministres qui s'est passé, qui a été présidé par Abdelmejid Tebboune, la bonne nouvelle.
Today at the Council of Ministers, which was chaired by the President of the Republic, good news was conveyed to the Algerian community abroad. We are delighted with this deliberate policy, which gives a great importance to the Algerian diaspora in the world. We thank him for this initiative and we encourage him for this policy.
On le remercie en ce mois sacré du Ramadan qui arrive. Et on encourage cette politique volontariste.
Une bonne nouvelle aujourd'hui pour la communauté algérienne à l'étranger.
It's a very good news that we received with great joy and happiness today from our President, who halved the air and maritime transport fees to all Algerian families in order to promote family ties during Ramadan.
Les liens familiaux.
C'est avec une très grande satisfaction et beaucoup de joie que cette communauté nationale à l'étranger accueille cette décision du chef de l'État et du gouvernement.
It is with great satisfaction and joy that the national community abroad welcomes the decision of the President of the Republic to reduce air and maritime prices by 50% during the month of Ramadan and Al-Eid. It is a thoughtful move in favor of the Algerian community abroad, now subject to high inflation in Europe, especially in France.
Il est arrivé d'accorder à cette communauté toute sa place au sein de la nation algérienne.
We are very happy. It's a very good decision taken by our President in favor of the Algerian diaspora. God bless him. Effective efforts and measures for the benefit of the Algerian community living abroad, which stipulates each time that the status and role of nationals living abroad is part and parcel of the nation, the hopes of which cannot be disappointed, an approach that Algeria has adopted since the coming to office of the President of the Republic.
Few days ahead of the blessed month of Ramadan, neighborhood markets are being put in place in several provinces of the country to supply citizens with the high consumed products with a view to maintain prices and to combat the scourge of speculation. Melissa Kubash once again.
The neighborhood market established in the province of Bishar provides a number of products widely consumed during the month of Ramadan and allows citizens to purchase staples at reasonable prices. Everything is available here. Chicken is sold here at very reasonable prices. I thank the state for this initiative. Several basic products such as sugar, milk and oil are available here. The province of Tlemcen is witnessing the same atmosphere in its local market composed of 50 exhibitors who provide consumers with necessary products for the month of Ramadan. There is a lot of products in this market, including semolina, flour and oil, and the prices are within the reach of everyone. We thank the local authorities for this move and the availability of staples. These local markets have been put in place to fight against speculation while responding to the citizens' demands in terms of foodstuffs, notably during the month of Ramadan.
In a different story, El Marsa station is one of the projects launched to cope with the lack of rainfall. With a capacity of 150,000 cubic meters per day, it is now finally operational and will supply the capital's east regions. Further details with Najah Dayar.
New seawater desalination station. El Marsa station, located in Ain Taya, that will supply the east of Algiers. It spreads over an area of 5 hectares with a production capacity of 60,000 cubic meters a day. El Marsa station is a part of the Emergency Water Plan 2021 that consists of achieving 3 stations in El Marsa, Bato Kassé and Corso, totalizing a capacity of 60,000 cubic meters a day. El Marsa station was achieved in line with the international standards to guarantee the water security in eastern Algiers. It has also adopted a new procedure to ensure perfect drinking water quality while saving the energy resources. In this station, we use the reverse osmosis system, since this procedure consumes less energy than the other systems. With 100% Algerian skills and competences, El Marsa station is managed very well to meet the needs of the citizens. This is the master room. Here the operators are able to control all the desalination procedure and detect the damage, and also give instructions to intervene and fix the issue. This important station is a part of the complementary emergency plan adopted by the public authorities to guarantee the regular supply of the eastern Algiers inhabitants with drinking water.
In other news, the 28th meeting of the Steering Committee and Coordination of Maritime Research and Rescue was held on Monday at the headquarters of the naval base in the capital Algiers, belonging to the 1st Military Region. The meeting was chaired by the General Commander of the National Service of the Coast Guards. The committee includes, in addition to the Ministry of National Defense, representatives of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Interior, Justice, Finance, Transport, Post and Telecommunications, Energy and Mines, Health, Fisheries and Industry, and those of the Pharmaceutical Production Ministry. The meeting aims to create a coordination and integration between the different actors in this field by mobilizing all resources in order to increase the efficiency as well as the effectiveness of the maritime research and rescue in Algeria. In another topic, and as part of the continuous efforts to meet the needs of the different structures of the People's National Army, as well as those pertaining both to the public and private national institutions, 454 vehicles of the brand Mercedes-Benz were delivered in Thiers province under the supervision of the Company of Promotion and Production of Vehicles belonging to the Ministry of National Defense, and this for the benefit of the Central Directorate of Equipment of the National Defense Ministry, the General Directorate of the National Security, as well as other institutions. It is worth noting that this new operation is part of other deliveries of vehicles, which affirms the ability of this company to meet the needs of its customers with high-quality products of international standards and within the required deadlines. In a new development, the French government has narrowly survived 2 no-confidence votes filed by opposition lawmakers, very angry with President Emmanuel Macron, who used a special constitutional power, according to them, to force through an unpopular pension reform without a parliamentary vote and adopted the pension reforms, but the opposition MPs have vowed to continue their struggle against the new controversial law. In another context, the President of the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic and Secretary General of the Polisario Front, Brahim Ghali, started on Sunday a state visit to Venezuela at the invitation of his counterpart, Nicolas Maduro. This visit is on the occasion of the commemoration of the 40th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the Republic of Venezuela and Western Sahara, an opportunity to strengthen cooperation and coordination in the different sectors of common interest. The Sahrawi Association of Victims of Grave Human Rights Violation committed committed by the Moroccan state denounces the continuation of the Moroccan occupier of its intimidation policy and aggressions against the Sahrawi activists. In a communiqué, the association expressed its full unconditional solidarity with the Sahrawi human rights activist and mother of the Sahrawi resistance, namely Soukaina Jadahlu, who spent more than 12 years of her life in horrific secret Moroccan prisons. In Morocco, the students have been demonstrating for weeks now while being violently repressed even inside universities by the Makhzen authorities. Story by Najah Tayar.
In Morocco, students are always subject to worse abuses by the Moroccan security forces. The Students' Renewal Organization denounced the flagrant violation of the university after an attack by the security services on a university campus in Casablanca, causing the injury of dozens of students. The Executive Committee of Students' Renewal called on this context students to reformulate a common platform for action based on the principle of the refusal to militarize the university and the democratic struggle for the defense of this space of knowledge. Last Friday, and for the fourth consecutive day, students' demonstration was held in Casablanca Sciences University on the occasion of the 17th National Students' Forum that was brutally repressed. According to the organization, more than 50 students were injured, with cases of broken bones, suffocations and faintings, as well as the for material destruction and confiscation. In recent days, all classes have been suspended, and the Casablanca University entrances have been surrounded by the security forces without any explanation from the university officials.
And we wind up our today's news with this report released by the United Nations, a report in which they stated that 10 million children living in Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger are in desperate and urgent need of humanitarian aid due to the latest developments of conflicts in the region. The UNICEF indicated that the number of children killed during the first 9 months of the year 2022 has tripled comparing to the same period in the year 2021. The majority of these children died due to injuries caused by bullets during attacks carried out against their villages or fell victim to improvised explosives and mines. And with that, our today's news edition comes to an end. Thank you for tuning in and goodbye.